listening to The Subtle Forces. I am your host, Anja, not Anja. Recently, I embarked on a new career as a copywriter, which means I write descriptions of products to entice you to buy them. Ever since I got this new role, I have been reading all advertisements I come across with a sharper eye. I have been asking myself, does the Hammacher Schlemmer catalog actually have good writing, or are these products just odd enough that they stand out no matter what gets said about them? This is the striking sports chair shaped like an oversized baseball that's certain to become the uncontested throne of the man cave or recreation room. Price, $4,500. This is the hovercraft that glides over land and water, yet also soars in the air up to 70 miles per hour with the aid of integrated wings. Price, $190,000. I have begun to collect the product copy that I approve of, such as this toy bus by Hot Wheels.
Ain't fair. Public transportation is great, but it doesn't always make for a quick commute. This rotted-out bus is designed to fix that situation with a massive infusion of horsepower that will crush your commute time and put the rapid back into transit, taking the city by storm, one cool ride at a time.
When you read that to me, I realize there are so many jobs in copywriting that I would love to have, but I have no motivation. I want to make as much money as I need to live and spend the rest of my time doing other things that I want to do. And so I'm not going to fight for the Hot Wheels job. But if someone offered it to me, I would be happy writing Hot Wheels descriptions for the rest of my life. That would be amazing.
That's my friend Brad speaking. He's been writing copy for about 10 years now. Perhaps I just enjoy reading and collecting real-world copy examples because it is a completely new endeavor for me. Perhaps in another 10 years I will sound just as disinterested in scrutinizing my junk mail copy as Brad. When I asked him to share some of his work, he mostly had examples from his earlier years.
All of the fun was long ago squeezed out of this process for me. I spend my time not working, writing short stories and a novel and a variety of other things. And so that's kind of where I put more of my creative energy. The copy, while sometimes I end up with pretty interesting pieces of writing, it's not where I locate much of my fun. The only way I'm able to make decent money is if I charge by the word, because I'm fast. I feel like I don't want to mention any current clients, partially because like my take is like, I've been doing this for 10 years and I hate it, and so that's part of the reason. And part of the reason is because I just feel like it'd be really easy for someone to just Google, if I'm going to read something, to just Google it and say, hey, someone is reading the copy you paid for. So this is all pretty old, but that's better because my old stuff is kind of my funniest stuff. I have one called Top Quality Swamp Buggies for sale. I have Indulging in Emphatic Massage, Home Remedies for Body Lice, Can Acute Kidney Failure Be Reversed? 3 Reasons to Get a Beard Transplant, and maybe my favorite one, Super P-Force Interaction. The last one, I had this spell where I was picking up a lot of work for erectile dysfunction medications, which I would have forgotten about entirely, except that every time I see our mutual friend Heidi, she, for some reason, loves to bring this up every time she sees me. I think she thinks it's funny. And so I went into Copify looking for that in particular. All of these are from like 5 years ago. So I'm not going to read them all the way through because I feel like They're pretty boring. So I'm going to start with the super P-Force interaction because it's my favorite. I want to preface this one in particular, but all of them, by saying I recognize that this is not wonderful, sparkling writing. Some of that comes from the fact that I was getting paid like 2 cents a word for this. So like keep that in mind. That means that I was writing really quickly, but it also means that I have very, very long, needlessly wordy sentences that sometimes don't make very much sense. Normally what I charge is somewhere between 2 cents a word and thousands of dollars per article. But I would encourage writers not to write for 2 cents a word unless you really don't have any other choice, because A, you're worth more than that as a person, and B, you kind of fuck up the market for the rest of us. When there are people writing for 2 cents a word, then prices drop for everybody, and then we all kind of get fucked. So that's my spiel on how much people should be charging. But yeah, here's the opening paragraph of my super P-Force interaction. One other preface: I wrote this at a time in my life before I had any sexual experience, what's anything even remotely close to sexual experience. This was long before that. So in order to get the most out of your sexual experience, finding medications that can multitask is essential. Super P-Force combines the power of sildenafil citrate and diproxetine to create pills that can handle all of the pressing conditions that affect the lives of men all over the world. Relatively inexpensive and easy to obtain via online pharmacies, men of different lifestyles are now able to benefit from its unique effects. However, in order to get the most out of your medications, understanding all of the ways it interacts with common substances is essential. While Super P-Force is designed to fit into any active lifestyle, there are a number of important restrictions that are important to keep in mind before placing your first order. Read below for all of the information you need to take your very first dosage of this new and effective drug. This is the first part of like what amounts to like a 5-page article. Like it's really long. And like, if this isn't already clear, I don't have any kind of medical qualifications. So I'm just like, yeah, man, do take this pill, but don't mix it with, let me see, what is my list? Don't mix it with grapefruit or alcohol or heart medication or antidepressants. Like, so I have probably like a novel's worth of material in terms of length on erectile dysfunction drugs alone, if I were to bind them in a hardbound book. The erectile dysfunction medications, it's not like I'm writing articles for whatever company makes Viagra. It's for companies that are making like non-US based knockoff Viagra that you get through the mail. These are people paying 2 cents a word for copy. It's not always the most reputable clientele. These drugs are like probably not real. They're probably just fake. So these other ones I chose largely for their title. Top quality swamp buggies for sale. I think at the time I probably looked up what a swamp buggy is. I don't remember what it is anymore. Wet and swampy terrain can make any job more difficult, and when transporting personnel and heavy equipment, the problems only multiply. This can grind productivity to a standstill or present safety hazards that put your crew at risk. When you have a tough job that needs to get done without delay, a swamp buggy may be the only way to go. Designed specifically to navigate wet, boggy land, these amphibious carriers offer a few unique advantages. Take a look, though, see how they can be an asset to you and your team. The other thing about these articles that people not in the industry don't know is that they're packed with keywords. And so you're stuck with words and phrases like amphibious carriers.
Amphibious carriers.
Sometimes you get really weird, I don't have a good example now, but sometimes you get really weird key phrases that don't like grammatically fit with any sentence. And so you need to have these really awkward sentence constructions to accommodate that.
Do they give you a list of the keywords that they want?
For these articles, they did. They gave me a list. For my like kind of more grown-up copywriting that I'm doing now, I offer keyword research as a service. And so I'm able to just say, I will make sure I'm putting keywords that you want. Should I keep going? Is this interesting?
I love it. I mean, I personally find it so much more fascinating than like a poetry reading.
You know what? It depends on the poetry reading. I've been to some pretty boring poetry readings and I've been to some good ones too. Let me give you home remedies for body lice. For those who have even a slight fear of insects, a body lice infestation can be a real nightmare. Aside from the fact that you have anywhere from a few dozen to a few hundred of the creatures crawling across your body, the infestation comes with a list of unpleasant symptoms. Itchy red bumps cover the entire surface of the body. A rash and dark hardened areas can begin to form after the lice have inhabited the area for a long time. That whole paragraph was 2 sentences, by the way. You'll have to call into work or school the second you discover an infestation. The reason is that body louse, so that's not grammatically right. The reason is that body louse are always looking for new people to latch onto, and one infestation can quickly lead to a whole class or office being affected. The good news is that there are a variety of home remedies for body lice that can clear up the problem in a matter of days, as long as you're persistent with the treatment. Vinegar, essential oils, and showering are the treatments. The bad thing about freelancing is that it doesn't matter if you're feeling super energized or super tired, you have to write something. Whereas at a regular job, you might be able to do something else that day. And so this to me reads like an article I wrote when I was tired, because there were just grammatical mistakes that don't make any sense. This is another one where my present self does not know what a beard transplant is. I imagine I looked it up. Sometimes I don't look it up. Sometimes I will just sort of like do the minimum amount of research to know what needs to be said. Do you ever wish your beard was thicker and fuller, but have never been able to get the look you've always wanted? Well, you will be pleased to learn. The other thing is that I'll never use a contraction when I'm getting paid by the word. So you end up with a lot of "you will be pleased" to learn that the 21st century has taken hair restoration beyond the top of the scalp to the rest of the face with cutting-edge beard transplant procedures. NeoGraft, led by leading medical professional Dr. Mark Berkowitz, is not only able to give you the beard you always wish you had, but do so with minimal hassle and cost. Take a look at some of the benefits below.
So, do you have any examples of things that you admire in the world of copy that you did not write?
I had to think really hard about it because I feel like my instinct is no. I feel like there are probably advertisements that I've laughed at in the past and enjoyed, but like I don't have any of those in my memory. Like those are not things that I'm filing away. But there is one example. I don't know that it's even properly copywriting so much as marketing, because it's just one word. It's one word of copy that I think has recently, in the past year, really hit home with me. It was something put out by Culver's earlier this year, which I thought of maybe because it's Milwaukee relevant. Are you familiar with the term Curderburger?
Curderburger? No.
You don't know Curderburger.
The curd, like a cheese curd burger?
Yeah. So the word Curderburger, the first like 200 times I said it, I hated it. And it's because it has a really bad mouthfeel, and it makes one angry to hear Curderburger, and it's hard to say. But since thinking about it more and sort of chanting it silently to myself in the shower, it has grown on me. And I think that the reason is because the word sounds like what the thing is. If you see a picture of the Curderburger, it's the stupidest possible version. It's not a hamburger with cheese curds on it. It's sort of like a deep fried cheese puck between two buns. That's like the thickness of probably 4 hamburger patties in between 2 just fast food buns. And so what you end up with is this sort of roundish brown lump which I've never tasted because it was only available for one day. I've only seen photos of it. So God knows what the thing looks like in real life.
You said a cheese puck?
So the Curderburger is shaped like a thick burger patty.
Oh, like a hockey puck. Okay.
After seeing it and seeing the image and saying out loud Curderburger, I feel like they landed on the correct name for it. And I think that there's something sort of admirable about that.
Have you eaten a Curderburger?
No, I haven't tasted the Curderburger because it was only available for one day. It was like super limited. And I begged my wife to take me and she wouldn't take me.
Oh.
But it's gone. Maybe they'll bring it back for popular demand, but I never got to taste it.
Curderburger.
Yeah. Say it a few times and it'll grow on you.
Curderburger, 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 Curderburger,
Let's get like a choir. Let's get like a troupe of choir boys to just chant Curderburger at various frequencies and record that and sell that as something.
What has copywriting taught you?
I want to think of a funny answer, but I actually have a real answer. So the reason why I like it is because I put my like personal, spiritual, and intellectual energy into writing fiction. And copy it's not the same as that, but it does allow me to think about how sentences and paragraphs are put together and fit together and how words make meaning. And like, these are not issues that I'm thinking about very consciously when I'm getting paid to work. But when you have done, I have 873 articles on Copify alone, it really starts to sink in. You start to think something that people who don't write professionally maybe don't realize is that writing is not natural at all. It's not just transcribing the way we talk. It's its own language. And I think that copywriting has allowed me to think in that language much more fluently, just by sheer volume.
Totally. I read some copy on the back of a sauerkraut bottle the other day. I think it had the term primordial tang in it. And I was like, ah!
Here's the label for the Brinery's Sea Stag Sauerkraut. The energy of land and briny sea unite in this distinct kraut. Nutrient-dense seaweed fuses with healing burdock root and the medicinal superpowers of turmeric for a stunning flavor and rich golden color. We invite you to explore the flavors created by the simple magic of family-farmed vegetables, brine, and thyme, raw, unpasteurized, and full of ancient cultures that stimulate your inner economy with a primordial tang.
Wow. No, but that's really good though. That feels true to me though. Primordial tang.
Yeah, primordial tang. Yeah, I was like, how can I get this job? I want to be writing for the sauerkraut company.
It's too bad that the people writing those are not like credited so you can like get in touch with them, because I want to know, because I bet you that the primordial tang person is working on a novel right now. Like, to me, that sounds literary, primordial tang.
I know.
Doesn't it? It does.
Yeah.
But there's no way to ever meet these people.
I bet that they're approachable. I can just like be like, hey, who wrote your copy? I have a product I want someone to write copy for, and I need the same person.
Well, but don't get it's going to be sad when the writer's like, oh, I have work. This is great. And then they find out that.
Oh, right. That's true. I have a podcast and I need to interview the genius who came up with primordial tang. Do you think that you'll like kind of start your own agency one day?
Well, you know what? I've thought a little bit about that actually, but like, the thing is, I've been thinking about that recently, and the way it's supposed to work is that you get enough work where you can't handle all of it, and so you start outsourcing it to people. And I was thinking, oh yeah, I could see myself getting to that point eventually, but like, what does that really mean? What that means is that I'm getting work and finding other writers to work for a lower rate than I work for and skim off the top. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that.
What's on the agenda today? What kind of copy?
My goal has been to switch all of my copywriting to clients whose names I actually know, about writing about food. So I've been writing exclusively about like kitchen products, which is great because I actually care about it. And I can actually do something that's half meaningful to me, even if I'm writing about nothing but blenders for a month. It's still something that I know about and care about. So yeah, that's been my recent sort of jam.
Best of luck to you. And let me know if you're in Milwaukee.
Next time on the Subtle Forces podcast.
Come on down to the brinery, get your sauerkraut and your kimchi. German tested, Korean approved, probiotics make your bowels move and groove. So call a neighbor and tell your friends, cause the lacto-fermentation never ends. Have you been to the brinery lately?
Hi, my name is David Saturn Klingenberger, and I am the Chief Fermenting Officer of the Brinery. And I thought up the term primordial tang. Primordial tang. Primordial tang. Primordial tang. Primordial tang. Primordial tang. Primordial tang.
Thank you to Brad Fiore for coming onto the show and reading some of your finer examples of professional copy work. Thank you to Kendraplex for taking the time to chant Curderburger until the word became beautiful. And thank you, Kendraplex, for also making the delightful track of music that played as you were chanting. Thank you to David Saturn Klingenberger for leaving a voicemail on my phone to preview what will be the first two-part Subtle Forces episode to date. So stay tuned, listeners. I think you will find my conversation with Kraut Master David fascinating. The Brinery's sauerkraut jingle was created by Greg Hart. Thank you to my brother Anton Sieger for making the music you are listening to now and other examples throughout the show. And listeners, if you are enjoying the eclectic content that you are hearing, please leave a review. Write us a review. Write it in the style of copy. Put in a few keywords, a few buzz speak. And if you are a copywriting professional, you'll know to definitely include a hook that will get web browsing people to press play the instant they read your excellent copy. But most of all, my listeners, please remember that when encountering any subtle force, you have both your logic and your feelers with which to interpret it.
Amphibious carrier.